Hi everyone, I'm Lindsay Hoffman and welcome to the Dose of Bliss show where I bring in some amazing people to share their doses of bliss with you. Today we have actress and model Jess Adams. Yay, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Lindsay, for having me.
Yay, so as you know on Dose of Bliss, we always talk about something motivational. So today's topic is people pleasing and dealing with your imperfections and appreciating and honoring that. And who better to talk to than you as an actress and model? You know, not only has everyone experienced this in their life, but you experience it as a career, you know, needing to be a certain way during auditions and in life. So what has been your experience?
The topic of people pleasing and perfection has been coming up for me specifically so much in the past couple of days. It's really difficult. I suffer from extreme people pleasing. I always have, and also needing to be perfect. But what is perfect? I mean, it's like it's this unattainable goal, and yet we all want to be it, but it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to sit with that. It's like, well, I asked myself, especially these past couple of days, why do I feel the need that I have to be perfect, especially when it's like I need to find a unicorn, but I'll never be able to find one.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's weird to have that realization of like, what is perfect? That doesn't exist. But in my job, I feel like it's really interesting. As an actress and as a model, it's like I have two personas. I have, you know, Jess Adams, like when I'm on set, it's like I have extreme anxiety, for example. Mm-hmm. But when I'm Jess Adams, that is an actor and a model on set, that goes away. I'm a character. But when I'm me, I'm anxious. And for example, today, I was running late. My hair, I just got a haircut and I was feeling a little weird about less inches in my security blanket. And I was thinking about my shirt and I had deodorant marks on it. And then we started our intro and my jacket rubbed the mic. And it's like, life is full of all these little imperfections.
Mm-hmm. And it's just being able to move past it. I was thinking about the same thing, and it's funny you mentioned that about your hair because I think your hair is beautiful. Like I messaged you yesterday, and just imagining you having those thoughts. And it's funny because I said the same thing, like, oh, my hair is hanging down different today, and you don't realize that other people feel that way, but you have to just move forward because if we sat every day thinking, oh, because my hair looks this way, I'm not going to come to this interview, or I'm not going to show up, or I didn't say the sentence the way I wanted to, or you look back and you're like, my shirt was crinkled and I don't look the way I want to look, I'm not going to post this interview, then you would never progress in life.
No, and it's hard to look in hindsight of like anyone watching the interview with the crinkled shirt, no one's looking at the crinkled shirt. And if they are, I mean, then that's on them.
Yeah, I mean, look at it, I'm still here, we're still here. I mean, no one would even look at your hair and be like, that girl didn't wake up and like her hair today. They'd look and be like, this girl is amazing.
I just don't like change, that's what it is. I don't like change, I like what's safe. But it's hard. I realized the other day too, I was at a shoot and I'm very used to, as a model, people talking about me like I'm not there. And I've become very used to that, and I just let them talk about me, and I just wait for what they're about to say or change or whatever. And the woman was actually giving me a compliment, and it went over my head, and it took me like a full 30 seconds to realize that she was talking to me and gave me a compliment. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Like it was such a bizarre experience, and I don't think I ever noticed that. And that was weird to me, that I was like, wow, I just kind of didn't exist for a minute.
Yeah.
And there's a person here talking to me.
It's true, because as hard as we are on ourselves, we always remember more of the negative versus the positive. Like people don't know how to accept compliments also. You know, it's like we want to feel validated and good about ourselves, yet at the same time we don't know how to accept that. And you know, you're used to tuning that out, so when people hear it and you accept it, you're like, wait a second.
Or if I accept it, am I being conceited? Or if I accept it, and that's where the people pleasing comes in, is like, even just accepting a compliment, I'm worried about what you'll think of me accepting the compliment.
Exactly.
What an exhausting existence to be so worried. I think about it all the time, and how much like chatter is in my head about even something as small as that, and like, how exhausting is that?
It's so exhausting. And like, what do you even think is going to change, you know? Because I know my personal thoughts that I always have is like, oh, if I looked better, people would like me more. Like if I looked whatever my perfect version of myself, someone would pay attention to me more. Or if I worked harder or was smarter, like, I don't know. I have all these reasons that I think that people would validate me more. Do you feel that way too?
I used to, and I probably still do, but I feel like I've just had so many experiences where it was like growing up, like I hated my hair. I hated my eyebrows. My mom wouldn't let me pluck them. Thanks, Mom, because now I love them. But
she's like, I learned that the hard way. I don't have any more.
But it's like growing, sorry, repeat the question.
Like, so you were going on to like, when you were growing up, you know, you didn't like your hair and you're people pleasing and just accepting yourself. Like if you were a certain way, maybe people would like you more.
I lost my thought, but I'll get back to it.
Okay, well,
Imperfection.
Exactly, but it's just moving through. I like that happened though, to show that you can just do that and move on. Like that's what I want people to see. Like it's fine. You don't have to be perfect. Like I've been there. People, like I want people to be allowed to just be themselves.
Yeah. It's really freeing. I feel like I almost do myself a disservice sometimes because a lot of my life is public, and yet a lot of my personal stuff, my day-to-day life is not public. And I wonder, I'm like, am I relatable? Like, am I this and that? And then I realized, like, I almost keep it to myself because it's mine. Like, I protect it, and I am so worried about what other people think. And it's hard because the biggest lesson that I've been learning lately is that I can't make you like me. I might remind you of like that bitch girl you knew in second grade, and you might just automatically have a bias towards me that you don't like me because of that. And I can't do anything about that. And I can try and like bring you cookies and bring you coffee and do whatever I can, but I can't make you like me. I can't make someone love me. And the people pleaser in me hates that, hates it. I want to be loved, but then I think I sometimes just don't rub the right way with people. Like I just meet someone, I'm like, nah, not for me. So, but it's like, but if it's me, you have to love me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's very interesting. And like, as I've gotten older, I'm slowly realizing like, someone might not like me and that's okay.
And how do you let go of that for people who are having the hard time where they want to say yes? Because I think part of this too is that you're always taught in life, you know, be polite, always say yes to an opportunity, never say no, you know, and then there's always FOMO, and there's just so many things that play into why people are people pleasers. You know, how do you work around that?
I think it's, in my work, I think it's come up a lot where I've been people pleasing. So I maybe take a job that is asking a lot of me and I'm not getting my value. And then I leave that job and I feel resentful. And resent is such a difficult, it's like sludge in your veins. Like it really, like resentment is heavy and it sits there and it festers like that Tupperware container you forgot in your car. And I've realized that like, yes, work is important, money is great, stuff is great, experiences are great, but my mental health is the most important. And if I leave a situation where I don't feel good, it's not really worth it to me. And I feel like people pleasing, not being people pleaser is a muscle almost that I have to build. And I've met such amazing women in my career that have a stronger muscle. They go to the anti-people pleasing gym.
Yeah.
And I watch them and how they operate, and it really is like trial and error because, you know, you can come off too aggressive or you can come off too much, or I don't know. It's like you got to hit that sweet spot, but it's practice. And if you're afraid to practice, you won't ever get it.
Exactly.
So it's very like fear driven almost, but I see these amazing women and they're getting their value and I'm like, why can't I have that? And it's because it stems to self-esteem.
Yeah, it does.
It really does. So if I have low self-esteem and I'm projecting that, like if I'm telling you I'm a POS, you're going to be like, oh, well, you're telling me you're a POS. Like, you know, I didn't say a bad word, guys. And I realized that like, but if I tell you that I'm of value, there's automatically a part that brings me up to I'm of value.
Exactly. It's like the reverse of what people are thinking. And tell me if this is kind of what you're saying. It's you actually respect a person more for saying, no, I can't do this, or, you know, this isn't, you know, at my pay rate, or standing up for what you are. You really raise the bar and your boundary versus really offending people. You're really, it's like that saying where it's subtract the negative and you only get positive. So you're only going to attract people with that bar. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, like I met a girl the other day and she had bad, but and
trying not to swear.
Yes, I have a really bad potty mouth. She had badass bitch energy, we'll just say it. And when she walked into a room, like it demanded respect. And I was thinking about it and I was like, I came into this room insecure, wanting people to like me, feeling anxious, and my energy is already, you know, oh, but like me. She walks in super confident, knows what she wants, and it demands respect. And I noticed that and I felt it and I was like, I like that.
Yeah, we've all seen that. So what is your tip for having that and harnessing that?
I think what we said as we kind of rolled on to like, where does this come from? Where does this come from? I think it's self-esteem. And that is a big part of my job. I always tell people when they ask me, they're like, I want to be a model. I want to be an actress. I go, you have to do a lot of inner work, because otherwise it'll rip you apart. Because like if you don't have a strong foundation and core of who you are, and everyone's telling you what to be and how to be and what to wear, you lose the essence of who you are, which is beautiful. So I feel like to have that confident energy, you have to be secure in what you're bringing to the table, even if it's so different, it's so left field. You're like, but that's left field. Like, that's awesome. If you tell people it's awesome, then it's awesome.
Exactly. It's kind of what you say. If you come in the room and say, I'm awkward, they're like, oh, this person's awkward. You know, if you come into this room and say, I'm confident in who I am, and the reasons that I used to think were negative about me are actually the reasons why you're going to like me. You know, that's what people are going to respond to.
Yeah, because we're all human and people are so intuitive that they pick up on what you're putting down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we only have a few minutes left. What's like your motto or biggest thing or biggest lesson you've learned that you want people to know?
That I am a perfectly imperfect human, and that's okay. But I'm always open to be told that I'm wrong, and I'm open to be told a different opinion. And I think that's the big difference of like, I think the biggest lesson that someone can learn is to like accept who they are, do the inner work, but be open to being wrong or seeing something a different way. That's like, for me, that's been the biggest turning point, especially in my job, of like, I'm not always right. I can't be perfect. Sometimes, you know, I'm gonna have deodorant marks on my shirt and be late, and all I can do is just own up to it and then, you know, put it in the hands of whoever and just keep going.
Yeah, keep moving forward and just
grow and learn.
Known.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you came to join us today. Thank you so much. Can you let everyone know where they can find you?
Yeah. You can follow me across all socials at the Jess Adams, and then YouTube Jess Adams LA. I lied, not all socials. See, I'm perfect.
I'll have a link to that below and also pop up in the lower third. Thank you guys so much for watching the Dose of Bliss show. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
As you all know, this airs every Thursday on my YouTube channel, Lindsay B. Hoffman. But if you want to watch every episode before it airs, you can go to the EverTalk TV app and watch it on demand. I'll also link that below. We'll see you guys next time with your next Dose of Bliss. Bye.